Good morning to you and welcome to Perspectives, a current affairs discussion pro and it's a running of vocation and technical education. There have been growing concerns over a high level of unemployment in the country. And according to experts, vocational and technical education is crucial to driving economic self-reliance through job creation and contributing to the growth and development of the economy. It is also argued that through vocational and technical education to make technical and vocational acquiring degrees as well as those that eventually gets them into civil service and other government functional, ministries, departments and agencies, and the kind of discrimination that generally it will drive the implementation of national policy on vocational and technical education. I've been joined here in the studio by the three discussants who will drive this conversation. First is the Director, Works and Services, Intercontinental College of Technology, a Polytechnic with a difference in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, Engineer Benjamin Dzwa is the Director, Center for Entrepreneurship Studies, Akawe Torkula Polytechnic here in Makurdi, Benue State, Mrs. Rhoda Nyikwagh. Welcome to Agate Radio, Mrs. Nyikwagh.
Thank you so much.
And we also have on the program the Head of Department Mass Communication at EB. Welcome to the program, Mr. EB.
Thank you, Nats, and good morning, Benue State.
Good morning to our listener out there. If you are tuning in for the first time to Perspectives, be informed that it is an audience participatory program that airs between now and 11 a.m. Participate on 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. You may also send us a text message or a chat on WhatsApp. This program is also Instagram and other social media platforms. If you log on to our website on www.agetradiotv.com, you also listen to us live. And if you have your Radio Garden app on any device at all, you can listen to Agate Radio. Engineer Dzwa, let's begin the conversation. From your point of view, what is vocation and technical education?
Vocational and technical education refers to a form of education that gives attention to skills development. It also focuses on the use of technology in training and in carrying out works. When you hear about vocational and technical education, it's a combination of two forms of education are used interchangeably, but the vocational education attention to the use of tax. So it is centered around that area. Vocational has to do with skills, what somebody can use hands. It involves more physical activity than when it comes to technical.
Yes.
I also ask you to share your thoughts with us on what
refers to all forms of in various sectors of economic and social life. In two ways. It is concerned with the diversity at large. So talk about the survival of both the individual and the society at large. We already know what happens when or the other, the salary is not coming in or is not enough. It constitutes the problem within the home, and at the end of the day, they are not able to meet up. So you're going to need skills in order to fill in that gap. The same thing with a loss of a job. Whether one parent or both parents all of a sudden lose their jobs, they're going to need something else to fill in that gap. So that is why I say the survival of both individual and the society. I also want to add that it is designed to prepare individuals to earn a living in an occupation, whether it's in vocations, science, or technology.
All right. Mr. Ibi,
Yeah.
two things are very common here from the position taken by Engineer Dzwa and Mrs. Rhoda. Vocational and technical education being skill driven and also focusing on making the individual self-reliant. What is your take? scale?
Well, we've already here on what vocational and technical education is all about. The take home here is that for us to make any headway as individuals, as a society, as a government, we need vocational education in order to drive the economy, in order to develop the state and to develop ourselves as individuals. The skills acquisition is what in the 21st century is being clamored about. Now, I think our attention should be given to vocational and technical education in a manner such that we are no longer going to rely completely on government to give us white-collar jobs. Everyday institutions, universities, polytechnics, colleges of education are turning out graduates on a yearly basis. At the end of the day, getting jobs becomes very difficult. Survival becomes very difficult. Go out there and more or less idle, even though educated. And that is the gap. That is where we need to encourage vocational and technical education. Their skills in a
site. The institution where I came from, our motto is to bridge the skill gap in the industry. And so the industry cannot be driven without those, because the vocational and technical education has become, have been broadened. I mean, it has been formal education can now go through the system and acquire the skills that are relevant in the industry. But in our society, many of those you see, those artisans you see on the street, they make what they get economically is far more than what I carried out a research selling 2010. The skill somebody house, you need the sort of people indulge in activities that will create problem for the society. So first, it's me with various skills. You could have produce the society. It enhances the security of our country, our society in general.
Okay.
Vocational and technical education, while learning skills, what it does to you is that it transforms you as a person. You have to concentrate in order to learn a skill. It makes you to forget about other things, and then you are focused on what you are learning. Gone to the university and come out of the university, they are frustrated because jobs are not forthcoming the way they want it to come. And they may not know that as we are like this, each and every individual has something in them that is more than just the ordinary. Now, when they now plumb good at doing this, so that is happening within the person at large. Because while you're learning the skill, you have to get along with those who are teaching you and those you are working with. That is what skills does to you. You must ask questions. You must have a problem that you have to solve while you're learning a skill. And in trying to do that, you also have to interact. So it helps you to improve your attitude towards yourself and towards others. And your work habit changes because when you're learning skill, I did industry, start working in terms of when I can no longer see. That is from dusk to dawn. You're working all through the day. You don't have time to do any other thing. So for this type of skill, you can imagine they have to concentrate. For that whole day, they have to concentrate on what they are learning. So it helps work habits. It equally helps them to appreciate and the all-encompassing knowledge, of the fact that they need to. And because you'll be more so well, you will discover that you need to to also have hands to help you. So before you know it, as an individual, you are looking for others to equally work with you, to join you. So you are an employer of labor. You are already giving back to the society. And then at the end of the day, you are self-employed. You can handle your own things because you are making your own money and you are able to handle your own issues. This makes an individual better in the society. And when we have more of that, the society becomes a better place to live because you're working with people who equally have a hope. And this is the work of their hands. And there's nothing that makes you happier than people appreciating the work of your hands. So that is what I have to say on that. Then again, it makes you more creative. Apart from the source of income, it makes you more creative. You are more innovative. It boosts your network. It develops your life skills. If you learn this skill, do you know your output is equally useful to the society? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ibi, to what extent are people often willing to embrace vocation and technical education?
Thank you. Society. Difficult in terms of our history, in terms of background, in terms of attitude. In as much as everybody knows vocational and technical education is the way to go today, within our media society, let's say Nigeria, for example, it becomes very difficult when you want to encourage people to take vocational education. People are perpetually lazy about it, given that our generation today, we are more of wanting to have things about government, every provision sharp, skills, acquisition, willingness of today requires us, all the stakeholders to, youths are now more interested in politics, thuggery, where they want to get money comes to them very easily, the easy ride. Every youth want to be on the fast lane. They prefer to take shortcuts.
Anyway, apologies to interrupt you. I think for you, it would have been good perhaps if you stop at youth being interested in politics, because all the youths, I think so.
Yeah, you're right. It's not all the youths.
Fine.
But I think that our youths are not forthcoming when it comes to learning skills. They are more interested in going into other things they feel could give them money cheaply. But how long will that sustain you? How long will you continue to be on that? And even these vocational educations were not available before us in time past. The institutions to train the youth were not here, and our people were not exposed to vocational and technical education before now. So in this part of the country, it is now that our eyes are opening up. It is now that we are beginning to realize the importance of vocational and technical education in this part of the world. Are disenchanted. People youths are not that interested. We will need to do some form of awareness as we are doing here, some form of campaign as we are doing here, encouraging right from the family to the larger society, so that they will see the need to go into vocational education. Also given what we are passing through now in Nigeria, the economic meltdown, the hardship. So we can no longer rely on government alone. We need to look into some others to go into it. It is not in life you can pick a vocation. I think that is what we need to do, because our attitudes towards vocational education is not good. We need to encourage ourselves.
All right, dear listener, if you are just tuning in, you are listening to Perspectives on iGate Radio 95.5 Star FM Makurdi. We are discussing the importance of vocation and technical education, and leading us in the discussion here in the studio, I have with me today Director, Works and Services, Intercontinental College of Technology, a polytechnic with a difference here in Makurdi, Benue State Capital, Engineer Benjamin Dzwa. I also have the Director, Center for Entrepreneurship Studies at Akawe, Torkula Polytechnic, Makurdi, Mrs. Rhoda Nyikwagh, as well as the Head of Department, Mass Communication, at the same Akawe, Torkula Polytechnic. A line for you to participate on the program will be available. You can reach us through that line on 0814-335-9292. 0814-335-9292. In the meantime, the line for text messages and WhatsApp chats is already activated for you to contribute by sending 99404. You may also log on to our website on www.igetradiotv.com to listen to the program live, and also follow all our social media platforms. The program is streaming there as well on YouTube, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and Facebook. You may be sure to also listen to Agate Radio once your device is activated. Engineer Dzwa, your institution,
Yes.
it was part of the funding vision of that institution.
Yes.
Share with us the kind of vocational and technical education programs that are available that our people around here can take opportunities of.
Okay. Thank you, Nat. I just wanted to add something regarding the issue of embracing the technical and vocational education.
Fine.
What they said.
Fine.
The society, our people, have not fully embraced the technical and vocational education. And I think the problem is a cultural problem or a colonization problem. Administrators, those who we head one institution or the other, coordinate activities of government and all of that. So what they gave us at that time excluded this part of portion of education. And so, yes, our people were used to do many of the jobs that were done, but they were used as slaves. And so, for an average Nigerian, embracing such skills, such work as a means of livelihood, point to him as if he was going back into slavery. I grew up, I met uncles who shared their stories of how they were used in road construction, how they were used in doing one building or the other. So there was this stigma attached to those who were just getting skills, who were only getting artisans, those who were doing those jobs with their hands. There was this stigma that was attached to them, and they were not so regarded in the society. And so it is a cultural problem, and we have grown with that. Many generations have come in. So anybody who is going to want their work to go to school, they are looking at where they can go and acquire degrees. That's why you see universities rejecting technical education sector is being starved of the required students. So it is a cultural problem that needs to, I think the policymakers, they are working on it, doing a lot of things that need to work on. Now, coming to Intercontinental College of Technology, Makurdi, we have a tripartite. We also have the National Skills Qualification Program, and we have modular programs that we also run. At the ND level, where we offer national diploma programs, we have up to 9 courses that the national design and clothing technology. We have programs in accountancy, business administration and management, statistics, multimedia technology, computer science, printing technology, and we have science laboratory technology. The last matriculation had over 100 students enrolled in the program. That runs for either 3 months or 6 months. That was where we started, and even though we had approval to run diploma programs, we have continued with them. We have such programs in garment making, both male and female. We have this program in footwear. We have it in furniture making. We have that in embroidery, short-term programs. And education through NAPTEP, and National Skills Qualification Framework is key, bringing the skill sector level. Bringing the skill sector level is that you are not going through the formal education. What you are going through, because you don't have to write exams there. What is done is that you are assessed based on what you can do. There is what we call occupational standards that are developed for various skills. So you go through these occupational standards. So as you go through them, you become competent. If you try today and you don't get it, you try another day. You must become competent for you to be certified. So you continue to learn and practice, and your assessor collects evidence of your progress and put them into a file where an internal verifier checks them, and external verifier also comes to look at them, so to also put some of them into practice. You can now be awarded a certificate, and there is a parallel grading similar to that of the formal education sector. You run up to, at the moment, Nigeria have up to 6 levels. They are working on increasing the number of levels. Other countries have up to 9 levels. Now, level 1 has to do with the junior secondary. Level 2 has to do with the senior secondary. Level 3 is what they call the A-level, advanced level. Level 4 is at the level of national diploma. Level 5 is at the level of HND or degree. Level 6 is at the level of postgraduate. The level of competence that you have achieved, that you are being graded. So when people come into such programs, we carry out what we call initial assessment to know which level we place them. Because at the elementary levels has to do with just things like identification, things like occupational safety. These are the things that we do at the elementary level. So if you come in and you already know how to identify materials, identify tools, you already have ideas regarding occupational safety, we will shift you and place you onto another level. So we run the NSQF program in very many areas. There are tens of those courses that have been approved, and the occupational standard have been developed by the National Board for Technical Education in conjunction with various awarding bodies and the ski sectors, including the likes of Koren, Cobon, and several of those professional bodies that regulate. So those has been developed. They are there, and we received approval for over 30 of these programs to operate. So we also run this. And recently, the National Board for Technical Education made a policy that any student who is going through the Polytechnic should be able to come out of the Polytechnic with at least a level 3 certificate in the NSQF. So they must come out with a Dzwa certificate. So as they are taking their ND courses, they also pick up a course either in form of under the Entrepreneurship program of the Polytechnic coming out. They also have competence in another.
Okay, Mrs. Nyikwagh.
Yes.
Also share your thoughts with us on the areas of vocation and technical education that our people can key into.
Well, I'm very, very happy with our own Polytechnic, because we were once called College of Advanced and Professional Studies. And we were offering IGMB as of that time, but for all the students or all the candidates that come in for IGMB, they are made to take a vocational course. We had 6 different areas of choice. We had fashion and design, we had radio and television repair, we had carpentry and joinery, we had building and engineering, computer science, we had welding, and we had lecturers that are fully competent in all these areas. And our students were made to take at least one of those areas, and at the end of the day, the Entrepreneurship Center that is going to embrace all the different types of skills. It is still new, so we are trying to get approval for the various certificate courses that will be offered there. And of course, at the end of the skills, they will be given a certificate for it. So we'll be able to get young people off the street and into the classroom, such that I didn't get admission in the university, so I'm useless. There's nothing I can do. We're going to target all those young people, because we are now going to create an awareness through our own Entrepreneurship Center, making them know that you can come and learn a skill in our school. The same thing with children that feel that they don't have any sponsorship, so they are not even aspiring to go to the university. They feel that they are a failure in life, so they become a menace in the society. We're going to target all those groups and let them know that they can come and learn a skill in our own Polytechnic and become somebody. So we are still new in that area, but we are the things we need to do concerning that to bring it to limelight is already on the way. So that is being arranged for our school. We have a new management now, and we are targeting the Center for Entrepreneurship Development very seriously, such that those certificate courses can be approved.
Oftentimes there is this preference people have for university degrees as against acquiring vocational and technical education, given that the polytechnics that run some of these vocational and technical education inclined programs award diploma. Is to be awarded a diploma and also in life.
There is no difference. What is playing around that area is our mentality to look at how we look at issues. Ordinarily, there wouldn't have been any disparity ad initio. These two sectors both offer formal education, the universities and the polytechnics. But the sectors are looking at two different things. While the university is looking at, it has the responsibility to train a child, not necessarily on vocational and skills acquisition. You can read the polytechnics are focused on vocational and technical education. That's the hub of the polytechnic. The polytechnic with a skill, who will go out there to possibly be an employer and to a problem solver. You are training out, you are targeting people that will go and serve the society in critical areas. Mechanics is just train administrators, train people who will man other teams. Their work duties are also different. And so there is no need whatsoever to marginalize one for another. Both of them are to do. They have received their training in their own area of profession. The polytechnic graduates also have received their own training to provide services in their own profession. And so when these two people come out, that is required of him to provide, what the service that the university graduate will provide, the Polytechnic graduate is not. Society is vast. Our society is broad, and we require everybody in different critical sectors, so that together we must work together for the society to coexist. We need one another. We need the university graduates. We need the Polytechnic graduates for the jobs and duties and functions that they are giving into the society. So when these people come into the society, and then we turn out to say, oh, the Polytechnic, because we need the services of the Polytechnic graduate. The university graduate cannot give you. University train mechanical engineers. Polytechnics also train mechanical engineers. But when these two graduates come into the field, and the university graduate has a problem with his car or vehicle, he goes to the roadside mechanic because he doesn't have the technical training.
Know-how, maybe, yes.
He doesn't have the technical know-how. He is not his car by himself. That is, the training given is practical. There is no theory about it. It is practical. Just as Engineer earlier said when he was talking about the courses that are run by the Intercontinental Polytechnic. Here you are trained before you are certified. It is not that you are given a certificate because you have exhausted the period for training and all of that. That is the difference. And that is what our society should be looking at. These people are coming from different backgrounds with different duties, different visions. So there is no need whatsoever to discriminate against the Polytechnic graduates. As it is now, in the society today, premium should even be placed on the Polytechnic graduates. We need them now more than any other person. We need them more than any other person. Madam has earlier said, we need us to partner the government today. And who are these people we are talking about? The Polytechnic graduates. It is only them and there that you train an automobile mechanic, you train a baker, you train somebody in cosmetics, you train somebody in carpentry, train somebody in television and radio repairs, train somebody in fashion and design. You need people to be on board, not going into one office or the other, dropping application here and there, looking for government white-collar jobs that are not even available today, vocations that the skills you have acquired. That is the focus of the Polytechnic education. That is the focus of the Polytechnic education. So it has not taken, no, but I think there is no basis and have come back to be of use to the society. There shouldn't be any disparity. There shouldn't be any dichotomy whatsoever. Thank you.
All right, Engineer Dzwa. Is there a right investment culture in terms of getting a comprehensive policy for our country in terms of vocation and technical education?
I previously there wasn't, but at the moment a lot of things are being done in terms of policy formulation regarding technical and vocational education. For instance, Mr. Ibi spoke about the disparity and discrimination against those who are coming from the Polytechnic. It was a very serious matter in years past. But in the last few years, the Ministry of Education through the National Board for Technical Education introduced a program they call that is one of the policies that have come in to solve issues regarding the technical education sector, so that people are no longer discriminated. You take 2 years for your national diploma program. You take another 2 years for your HND program and 1 year for your top-up. And your certificate anywhere within and outside of this country is regarded as a degree certificate. So that has also sorted out a lot of issues. And recently, also of the country is doing so much with through the Ideas Project in terms of training artisans, in terms of training tutors, instructors in the technical and vocational education sector to meet up with the standard that is practiced anywhere else in the world. And one of these gestures last year, where insurance assessors sponsored through the Ideas Project of the National Ski Council. Not enough. Because the Polytechnics, where even when people are running it at a private level, for you to actually make it affordable for students to come in, there a lot of subsidies are needed in terms of equipment. Is left to fend on their own. What that means is that we will not be able to get the best out of it because and they may not, who will embrace it, may not be able to afford if the funding of such institution is restricted to only public institutions. So government need to do a policy, a deliberate policy to actually assist private individuals or organizations that are running that are left, because machinery, the training in this sector requires a lot of machinery and tools. Without these tools, it will make us we are in maybe the university. The technical education cannot be driven with this. So government need to do more in terms of policy in supporting. In fact, even the public institutions still lack funding, but they need to do so much in terms of funding, especially in giving out equipment and infrastructure for those trainings to be able to be done. So you can say that it is not enough. Much is being done, but yet we have not gotten there yet.
Okay, and I would have loved you, Mrs. Nyikwagh, to speak more on the funding of vocational and technical educators to engage with those listening to us. And the program is Perspectives on Agate Radio. We are discussing the importance of vocation and technical education. I have with me here in the studio 3 guests: Director Works and Services, Director Center for Entrepreneurship Studies at Akawe, Torkula Polytechnic, Makurdi, Mrs. Rhoda Nyikwagh is also a guest on the program, and of course the head of department Mass Communication at the same Polytechnic Akawe, Torkula, Mr. Abraham Ibi is with us. And you can participate on the program by calling us on 0814-335. You may also send us a text message for 0912-699-9404. You may listen to us by logging onto our website on www.agateradio.tv.com to listen to us live. And also, you may follow all our social media platforms. The program is streaming live there on YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, as well as Instagram, and all other social media platforms. Kindly follow us there to be a part of this.
Nat, good morning.
Thank you.
I am Comrade Yongo Abrahams, head of staff training.
Oh.
Yes, I'm
all right, Yongo Abraham, please, where
of at the Polytechnic with a difference.
Thank you.
And my 2 colleagues, Mrs. Nyikwagh and Comrade E, who joined this program. I have been waiting for it from money. And the discussion so far has really given me an input. I was thinking that on the discussion table there would be some officials from Ministry of Vocation and Technical Education and also Ministry of Education to throw light on certain areas. But since they are not here, I would just want to encourage the discussion and say that the way forward for the economy.
Hello, young Abraham. Hello. Oh, that's very, very, very unfortunate. We lost connection with young Abraham. I saw Jakwama this morning. All right. Go ahead, Underchief Abraham.
I thank you for the program. Technical and vocational education, it cannot be compared to any other institutions that occur in the home or not in our country. Here. Why I say this is that people who are graduating from other schools, they come out waiting for the government to employ them. They want to wear ties with the right code. But where are the jobs for them? They are patrolling all about, looking for them, submitting applications, this and that. But those who are graduating from technical and vocational schools, to come to meet them now, they look like the employers, because they are as the other boys to assist them. Why I'm saying that there's one colleague in our home here. He studied carpentry and joinery from the technical school in Lagos. Secondary school on Power here. Come and see what he's doing at the home here. If they invite him for roofing, he can quickly do it. And if they invite the people who are going to bury their losses, their persons, they go to him for coffee. And he doesn't care for any other thing at all. He doesn't beg for anything. If he dies now and not pay on his debt, it's the last pensioner. Because that's good. Focus on building technical and vocational schools for our boys now that they cannot employ them. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Underchief Gabriel, making an advocacy on that issue. Okay, thank you so much for calling in. Mrs. Nyikwagh, before we engage infrastructure supporting this kind of education.
Okay. I will just end up having to say the same thing that our discussant has just said. Government just have to make up more policies such that they can help the institutions in terms of equipment for all these skills that have to be taught. The institutions cannot on their own pay for the kind of equipment that they need in order to teach such skills and in order for them to have assistance. And they should be ready to do that because that is their own part that they have to play in order for the other part. And another thing I want to throw light on, apart from the fact that the institutions need equipment, which is a very, very vital and big part, I also want a situation where we think about these funds to be able to settle, to become frustrated. Happen like that, and to continue, it will just be stagnant. You may have somebody who is very skilled in a particular area, but he will tell you that I have not been able to gather enough money to start. I have not been able to gather enough money to start. Maybe 1 year goes by, 2 years goes by. And one thing with vocational skills, you must be in practice. You must be in practice. Anything that makes you not to be constantly in practice, you will begin to forget what you have learned because it's learning by doing. So I'm also appealing to the government to make funds available such that small-scale industrial loans can be given to all these small-scale enterprises so that they are able to practice. By the time they are able to practice and they grow bigger, they will not be able to employ. I have gone through to be able to sustain my own little business, teaching, but that is the much I have to say.
Okay, let's engage with Makurdi. Oh, good to have you on the program, Daniel Lieutenant.
You see, I want to appreciate you so much. I haven't traveled outside the country, but I heard that if white men discover a talent in the boy, go ahead and train you straight with that talent. Whether you're a musical, you are nothing. In fact, any talent that you are. That is sometimes you see them, many of them they will come to our country putting the, even to speak English, they will have somebody that will translate it to them. So I want to appeal to us as parents that if you have a child, so that maybe you want you know guide and support them. Sometimes you know
Hello,
that your
Hel-
child. Hello.
hello, Daniel. Maybe you.
Hello. Yes.
Yes, you are on. You may just change your head, please.
Uh-huh. Sometimes you discover a child talent 5 years. I have a brother here that can do very well. So
Daniel, on to me 292, because many persons are trying to get through to the line, and if you are not able to connect on the line, you may simply send a text to 0912-699-9404. 0912-699-9404. That's the line for contributions through text and WhatsApp. Please remember to include your name and where you're sending your contribution from. But before we engage with more persons, Mr. Ibi, within the context of parents and guardians getting to encourage their wards to take on vocation and technical, they send children to acquire this form. Thoughts, just 1 minute, I'll come back to you because of several persons who are waiting on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning to you. Welcome to Perspectives. Jude, who?
I really appreciate
Jude Oga.
able-bodied.
Hello? Jude Oga. Maybe you may just change your position slightly. You are close to your radio set too, so there is this interference is having in our communication. Hello, Jude. Oh, okay. Once you connect with us, kindly do us a favor by moving away from your radio set or turn down its volume. That's the only way we engage. Mr. Ibe, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Nat. Before I respond directly to your question, I want to.
I'll still beg you.
Okay,
let me
right.
let me interrupt you.
All right.
I don't know whether it's Jude that is back. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you. I want to appreciate the kind gesture of the speakers in the House. They have spoken the minds of Nigerians. But I also want to say, we Nigerians, we don't value what we have. Most times when our young men or young people goes out there to learn one or two vocational trades, and they come putting by encouraging them. And just like the woman from Akawe, Torkula have spoken, the government also really needs to intervene, because without capital, haven't learned these things, they will still remain theoretical. Why not? And so saying if looked into, I think will still remain at the same spot. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Richard. And no, we appreciate you for your submission. Thank you for calling in. Mr. Ibi, I will not interrupt you this time until you may have concluded your thoughts.
Okay, thank you so much. As I've earlier said, I want to make a reference to, I think, the second caller, any other conventional school. China is one of the leading economies of the world now. In 2016, China converted 600 of her universities to polytechnics. China has over 1,000 universities. By 2016, 600 of them were converted to polytechnics. I think the Chinese people are not fools. They know why they did that. They know the value of that, how much value that we add to their target. And now, coming back to your question, the first institution in our lives is the family. Everything that we have learned today, in fact, the society cannot exist without the family. That is the nucleus of the society. And in this part of the world, in bigger things, the kind of picture that they have at home for their children, they are not bothered They are gifted in grow and develop choices for our children, regardless of what talent somebody is interested. My child should become a medical doctor. My child should become an engineer. My child should become an architect. I want him to be a pharmacist and all of that. Are you bothered to assess him and know whether he is good in this area, he's gifted in this area? That is where the problem is. It is not for the parents to begin to make choices for the children, especially as it pertains academic. Sometimes it's even better to, there are measures, you assess the child by yourself, try to know his or her. If he has interest in a particular area, you guide him towards that area. I have a friend, I fondly call him a born, these people that draw, madam, how do you call
Artist.
them? Artist. A born artist. Very good at drawing. When we started our primary school today, it was my primary school mate.
Okay.
Yeah, so right at that time, when we were in primary 2, primary 3, that was in late 80s, this guy could draw virtually everybody and the class setting. You look at it and marvel, as far back as then. But when he eventually got to the university, what did the father say? When the guy said his interest is in this area, the father said, no. You know that we've been having land disputes with our neighbors. And so I want you to become a lawyer.
So that he
and due respect to him as an artist, try to her talent becomes a better person to himself. Area in this sector, small scale of taxes, they will also contribute to the economy of this. Our parents should pay attention to their children talents and see how they can give them a push to develop on those talents.
Okay, and I believe parents are listening and will key into this on a very serious note, because when you cited an example of China, which has become an emerging superpower in terms of technology and other aspects, there's a scramble for China. China seems to be dominating every sector. Now, but we'll come back to that. Let's take some messages before we talk more. This one says, Nathaniel, good morning to you and your guest on Perspectives this morning. I cherish you, my former colleagues at Akawe, Torkula, Polytechnic, and the Intercontinental College of Technology. Vocational and technical education is the right way to go and should be embraced by even those in universities. Come of Akawe, Torkula, Polytechnic, art caps into a polytechnic in 2014. Akawe, Torkula Polytechnic ought to be fully accredited and funded to carry out its mandate. Vocational and technical education should be encouraged, as skills acquisition could be through academics from all right, there was no name to it. I tried to make sense of the display of the name on the WhatsApp status. All right, hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's Jude calling.
Okay.
Calling back again.
Jude Oga, I suppose?
Yes.
Good to have you on the program, Jude Oga.
Yes, sir. You see, the problem, every now and then, there will be some time. An issue like this in society is something that has been there even long before we were born up to now, and it's still existing. Educating their children, go to school, like this. Okay, for instance, if your child is in the school and maybe he or she is saved, maybe he might not be able to meet up with the school fees, and definitely that is where the problem is, due to lack of the education of the child. And this issue should be taken to government so that they should talk more on how to encourage the sent to us in school. Maybe it's 20,000 naira, 15,000 naira to sustain ourselves. That would not be enough. We have to go and work. So this issue, discussing this kind of issue is like, forcing people to do. The USA, as at 18th to 19th century, you know, it to survive the Industrial Revolution as at that.
Okay.
So coming back to this our era now.
I've said much already. We had to compensate you because of the strenuous efforts you have made in trying to get back to us when you connected earlier and you were not able to get your thoughts through. We appreciate you, Jude, for calling back. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
The name is
Can you hear me?
loud and clear. The name is who?
Yes. This is a welcome program.
Thank you.
I appreciate the guests in the house.
Yes.
It's Uncle Matthew. Yes.
Okay.
Our problem is implementation.
Matthew, where are you reaching us from?
I'm from North Bank.
Okay.
Implementation is always our problem. It was one of the aims and objectives of creating junior secondary schools. Straight from junior secondary school, those who can go this side and those who can go for acquisition. It becomes a story about the education system in our country. The government should go back to the drawing board. What brought about this? Because we need people to be skillful. Instead of producing thousands of political science students, we need people who are everywhere. We are rather, government should go back to interest one. The placement is the half-cooked food that causes abdominal pains. Thank you very much.
We appreciate drawing board to get the police industry of a challenge to Nongu. Hello. Oh, unfortunately, we lost connection with the call. Engineer Dzwa, kindly go ahead.
Let me start.
Go ahead.
Are doing handwork so that people will be encouraged to also go into it. Because discriminating them and looking at them as cows and illiterate, first of all, respect them so that you want to emulate them and then learn. That's all what I want to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vincent. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for your contribution. Engineer Dzwa, please.
Yes.
Now you can start proper.
So the vision that led to the establishment of the Polytechnic where I came from has to do with the thoughts shared by the state in Makurdi. We look around and we're not able to find here to go and bring those skills from other towns that are already industrialized. So to train people here. We also discovered that we don't have the required skills, the required technicians, technologies to man industries here. Outside of their vicinity, not do that. So it left us where they got to where they are now. Now, the case of China, which he mentioned, a lot of multinationals have moved their manufacturing and production activities to China because there is enough technical hands to man those production activities at a cheaper rate. So many people are moving, and it adds, it is growing the economy from what China has done. The investigation of Indian, every word, their example. So I feel nations have to train enough hands. It is when we have enough human capital that investors will also want to come in. If not, you will have companies set up in our land, but people will need expatriate come in there. It is expensive. So doing business in Nigeria is becoming more expensive every day because you are sourcing human capital. Their parents pay their flight ticket and all of that. It is not easy, and government just have to step in. I feel it is a challenge that the government needs to address.
All right, let's engage with this caller. Hello, good morning. It's still open 0814-335-9292, 0814-335-9292. Do send us a text on 0912-699-9404. The challenge is that Nigeria should key into what countries like China are doing and be challenged to invest to drive its own technical and vocational education too. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Nathaniel.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Regards to the guest in the studio.
Yes, one regards to you.
My name's Oko Moses E. I'm calling from North Bank.
Oko. Okay, Oko Moses, share your thoughts with us.
This matter is government. We always call on government because they are the common man last hope. There was a time they were doing this skill acquisition for free, like either 1 month or 2 months like that. So they should still wake up because if you go for any training now center, they'll be calling 50,000, some places 70,000 naira, which common man cannot afford. So we are still calling on government to rise up to our aid in this.
All right. Point of getting the government to drive a skills acquisition and get to do. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Yes, this is Kwazza Vincent calling from North Bank, Makurdi.
Okay, it does appear that the Association of North Bank people are.
Like, for instance, if you get the either financial or otherwise support to carry out this particular thing. So government should try to encourage people, support those people who go into this skills so that it will help the government to reduce the rate of unemployment in our society. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Kwazza Vincent. We appreciate it. Okay, good. Government should do that to reduce. Everybody believes that once there is technical and vocational education strengthened with this reawakening from our concluding thoughts. I deeply appreciate your program aimed at educating the Benue child at this jet age. The way to are my colleagues at Akawe Torkula Polytechnic, Makurdi, from Comrade Nongu Abraham's head staff development as well as pension and gratuity. Okay, thank you, Nongu Abrahams. We appreciate you. You called in earlier, but the network didn't allow you to share your thoughts. We're happy you sent a message. Good morning, Mr. Nathaniel, and your guest in the studio. Technical and vocational education are very untapped. I will advise that discrimination of technicians should be stopped, as everybody cannot be in government offices at the same time. Vincent Akko from Wadata. Okay, Vincent, thank you. We appreciate you. I think you also called in earlier too, and you have sent a message. Thank you so much, Vincent. One more call and then we'll. It does appear the network at your end seem to be. It does appear the network at your end seem to be breaking. Maybe you can change.
Which area particularly am I to encourage him to go? And in his aspiration, he said he wants to be a medical doctor.
Wow.
He's doing well, like he's just writing his NECO now. But he's already making some cash from tailoring because I encouraged him when he was in his JSS3, when he picked interest in tailoring. And he's very good at it already. So I think that's a very good area to encourage our children and wards if we see them those talents. Thank you.
All right, Kasuli, for one from Akawe.
That is actually something that happens to a lot of people. Now, what I want to tell him is that he can go ahead and do his go to the university and read medicine. There's nothing that stops him from doing that. He can equally by side. I have a friend who is a professor of furnishing, throw pillows, all the. So she has shopped the university for so,
Okay, your opinions on it, and he will make an aggregation and make sense of it.
Yes. For me, I will to be focused so that the areas he has the artistic drawings. This is just one thing, because even in fashion, there is what they call life drawing. She is into industry, because even there they need to those ones no problem. In fashion, in artistic design is very important. I would have encouraged his son to join us at Intercontinental College of Technology, where he can pick up a course in fashion design and clothing. If that he must not force the son to take a decision of what he will go to. Encourage him, let him see the need to focus. Perhaps try to find out why he is interested in medicine. He can also visit us at the office. We do career guidance too at Intercontinental College of Technology, Makurdi, and perhaps by the time we interact with the son, we'll have a better solution.
What prefer?
Well, I think the two opinions provided should be sufficient. But I'll add more weight to engineer's opinion. The son needs to be focused. This focus
Invitation to act more with this guy, just is one that will be a good one for you to key into. One last message, and then we'll conclude. And this is saying, Nathaniel, regrettably, my calls are not getting through to you. I feel sad. Don't feel sad. With Torkula Polytechnic and the Director of Works and Services at Intercontinental College of Technology for very useful insights into the topic for the day. Let's heed to the views and innovate in our areas of interest. This is from Dr. Jotom Keku of Old CBN Layout, Makurdi. It's quite unfortunate that the network will frustrate my teacher from reaching out on the program. Please don't feel sad, sir. Thank you so much for Engineer Dzwa. Just 10 seconds I'll allow you have said here and how
the government, I would say, they need to give more attention in terms of funding and policy formulation. One key aspect that we left out is the fact of starter kits for those who have gone through the training. Is an area government we need to focus on. To the parents, please encourage your words. There is a popular slogan with the MBT now. They call it skills, not degree. And let them have the skills. Once they have the skills in their hand, except someone quite will eat your certificate, such skills. And for us at Intercontinental, our doors are always open. We are ready to welcome everyone who comes in.
Thank you. Mrs. Nyikwagh, 10
yes,
seconds, please.
I want to encourage and also plead with government to partner with institutions for more workshops and training. I have participated in training and I've seen what it can do. You can get so many people to learn different skills at once, like the economic empowerment for HIV and gender-based violence, vulnerable women and girls in conflict-affected areas in Benue State. I was part of the people who trained those who were there, and it was so sad. It will help us.
Okay. Mr. Ibi? 5 seconds. I will give you 10 now.
You're already being biased about that one.
Because
anyway,
we're totally out of time.
Vocational and technical education is the way to go. We encourage people out there to come over to Akawe Torkula Polytechnic. Now, His Excellency Governor Hyacinth Alia has given us a new rector, a young man who is turning things around. By tomorrow, we're having members from NBT, National Board for Technical Education, who are coming for inspection and accreditation under the Entrepreneurship Study Center. A lot of opportunities are there. You don't need to have an SSC. There are courses going for a primary school level. Come and see what you can do with your life. Thank you.
Okay, the last thing would be that when both of you, that Continental College of Technology is here in Makurdi. Thank you, Engineer as well. The Director Center for Entrepreneurship Studies, Akawe Torkula Polytechnic, Makurdi, Mrs. Rhoda Nyikwagh. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
The Head of Department, Mass Communication at Akawe Torkula Polytechnic, Abraham Ibi. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Join us again on Friday for another edition of